What is up, guys? SM22 here today, and welcome to a new little series that I'm starting here, editing. So editing is probably the most important part of a video that you'll ever make. I understand that recording is important, having a good setup is important, having camera and audio and stuff. I feel like audio is the most important function of a video, but editing is where it all comes into place. You can't upload a bunch of files to YouTube. You can't upload your audio, your face cam, and your gameplay as separate videos to YouTube. That's where editing comes into play. And I noticed that there's a lot of people who don't know how to edit, and that's not necessarily their fault, because editing is really hard to grasp at first. It took me a really long time to edit. You can find a couple of my old videos, a lot of my old videos where I had no idea what I was doing with editing. I didn't even do a good layout until I had some that weren't even made by me, Black 2 or with the next series that we're gonna do, and just editing is the best part of a video for me, because it's what makes me feel accomplished at the end. And I really want you guys to know certain editors that I've used, certain editors that I hope that you can use in the future, because it's better for everyone to just know that you can make high quality videos without something like Adobe Premiere, which costs a lot of money. It costs, oh boy. Alright, let's get into this. Hello everybody, what's going on? SM22 here today. We are here on my phone with PowerDirector. I'm going to show you guys the most recent episode of Pokemon Black 2, and it was episode 23. So pretty much, the whole point about editing is just finding a way that works for you. For me, I tend to go more so, I wouldn't say bare bones, but more so about going ham with an intro, and then going more so calm on everything else. Does that make sense? This episode's already out, but just here, what you do is just it's more so about, that's funny. It's more so about your style. I'm gonna move. Where can I move this? I don't know. This is bothering me. I'm just gonna put that over there. Bye. Okay. So, PowerDirector, if you were to come to the very beginning, you end up on this screen. Now, I got this at a point where there was no subscription thing, and now there is, but realistically, it's not that bad, and it's actually pretty good. You can buy, there are a bunch of alerts here, and then there are a bunch, not a bunch, but you can buy this, but pretty much when you start a new project, I'm going to call this need a job, because I need a job. So pretty much you just find your thing. Pretty much the beginning, if you were to just drop in, for example, this is the countdown timer that I made. I really like it. I think it's cool, right? So here is your, on the left over here, I'm going to have this be the thing. On the left over here is your thing. Now, if you want to be able to remove the watermark and everything, it does cost about $4 a month, I would say, but that's realistically not that bad. It's actually pretty good. And I don't pay it because I got a free, or not free, but I got it at a point where before that subscription service was a thing, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. So, first up is your thing here. And it shows you this top screen. This is linked directly to this. So, for example, did you see that I put in this countdown timer? If I were to get rid of it, I put that down, not download, I go to PowerDirector, which is where all your edited videos come in, and you put in your countdown timer. There we are. Okay, and so now you can zoom in, well, not zoom in, but you can go in. Do you notice that the timeline here has increased? See, so now it's going a lot faster, in the sense of there's a larger second interval. That way, if you want to make a quick edit, then you can make it there. And on top of that, you can add in more clips like blah, da, yeah. See? And that gives you a lot more stuff to work with on any given on any given timeline. But you may be thinking, hey, what's this sandwich looking thing over here? Well, I'm going to tell you what it is. This is your overlay. Pretty much an overlay is anything where if you have your gameplay in your main timeline here, your face cam and your layout would go here. So, for example, if I were to add that have that countdown timer here, I can come in, I can grab something else, and there we go. Did you see how it appeared here on the timeline? Here specifically is because now you can customize it to be wherever you want. Now, there are some limitations with it, and look, let me show you. When it plays, it gives you 2 different videos playing at the same time. Wow, that actually looks really cool. Anywho, you can, once you click on, I'm going to show you guys what happens when you click on the main one. When you click on the main one, you get this. So there are tutorials you can do, you can add color to it, you can rotate it, you can adjust the volume, and when you adjust the volume, there's this thing called audio mixing, where that pretty much shows you, like, oh, I want this to take up 100% of the thing, you can lower this, lower this, lower this, lower this, lower this. It all depends on you. For example, when I edit an episode of Pokemon Black 2 or something, I normally have everything else at 100 and have the main one, and I normally have this at 50 because that's significantly less. That way, there's less of an issue when it comes to volume mixing. So, when you click on this, back to what it says, you have skin smoothener, which is pretty much like, you know, it smoothens pretty much anything that it recognizes as human skin. And then you also can flip it. You can adjust the speed. You can make it as fast as you want, up to 8 times. But you cannot make it super fast. See, up to 8 times. But if you make it too slow, then you risk lowering the frame rate, which makes it all not good. And there you can mess with it. And then on top of that, you can there we are. On top of that, you can duplicate it, you can crop it, and then move it in with your hands, with your fingers. Or if you want to, you can reverse the entire thing. It does take a minute to reverse it, but you basically know when it reverses. And if we were to come over here, you can see that the duplicate is right there. See, it's the same thing, and I duplicated it. So pretty much that's about it on what this shows you. But here's where the real editing magic can actually happen. So let's say you want to make a cut here. Then you click on it, and do you see this little wrench-looking thing? Well, I don't know what it's actually supposed to be. I think it might be a saw. I've never really thought about it, but look. Bah! Do you see that? That's a cut. Now it made a cut. Now you can come over here and do the same thing. Bah! Now look at that. Now this part, and this part are 3 new separate things. So what that means is you can click on this one and use the trash to delete it. Now you cut. You made a quick cut. So you cut. See? Now that part of the video is entirely cut out. Cool. Hey, future me, edit this out, please. Bwop. Where was I? And you can basically do that as many times as you want. Now, there are transitions specifically here. Now, if you want to get more transitions, that's like, for example, this is where the subscribe thing comes in. You can get a free trial for 7 days with a yearly subscription, and the yearly subscription I would say is about $20 to $30. And for 3 months, you can get it for $3.33 a month. So that's about $10 for 3 months. That's not too bad. It's really not too bad. That makes it around $40, which is more scary than it is. Or I mean, it sounds more scary than it is. It's really like if you have enough to earn $5 a month, you'll be okay. And there are all kinds of transition packs that you can get. Unfortunately, most of them are locked because I am not subscribed. Like I said, I got it at a time before the subscription thing, so it didn't take away anything, but it refuses to add anything either. But there are already a bunch that are open to you. For example, you can do the X-ray version. You can wipe your clock, which is pretty cool. I like this one. This one is one of my personal favorites. It looks better. Or specifically, if you want, you can just do a film scroll, or you can just do your standard fade. So you don't necessarily have to have a transition. You can just click no transition. But if you do want a transition, then you can. And also here, on this little clock right here, this shows the time of each duration, or the duration of each transition. You can apply it to all transitions or specify it to your transition. And now, let me show you what it means when we put this in action. Oops. Here we go. Did you see that? Did you catch it? So what it did is, I'm gonna get rid of this for a second so you can see. It went away, and there we go. Transitioned seamlessly. That's really nice. Now, what you also can do, and this one is also specific, because transitions are specific to the top layer, to the main timeline. So are these effects. So I like using these effects. There are a lot that you can use. You can use black and white. So this is black and white specifically. You can't tell because it's, like this. But I can add in something else. Like, for example, I can add this in. And if I were to make it black and white, now it's noticeable. And you can also come here, you can adjust it to be less black and white or more black and white. Although specifically, like, if you want to have it to be black and white, just put it on 200. That works just as well. You can also change the effect to be whatever you want, and it all depends on like what you like. Because personally, one of my favorites is the laser because I really like it. It looks nice. It's kind of like, this is something that you would use for like a quick zoom in, or some of them actively move. For example, the swing actively moves. Do you see that? Now also what you can do is you can change, some are specific to the transition. For example, here, you can change the background color. You can have it move up, have it move down, have it move left, have it move right. And then you can change the background color if you want. And then, here we go. Do you see that? Now that looks really nice. You can also change it to where it moves more efficiently. But that's a different story. And there's also this rocking one, which also moves it. Now, see, it's more of like that. And, as well, it has its own specific thing. Frequency and strength. Like, you can have it be like that, where it ends up being so that's really nice. So I guess that's about it for this beginning portion. But here is where it gets interesting. It comes to here, the sandwich thing. So you can either put some text. Pretty much, if you were to put text down, all you got to do is click on it, and then just double tap it, and then just like type whatever you want, and then Elite Shadow Go Sub. See, you can just pretty much like write whatever you want. You don't even need the main thing there. So you can put that, something like that, or what you want, or if you want to do something, you can have it be something specific that actually like comes up. For example, you can put a cast, have it be like that. This is the one that I put. This is the default one. That just doesn't move, but there are some other ones that do move. You can try them all out for yourself. They're all really cool. And so here you can put videos, the exact same kind of videos as you would on a normal one, except now you can actually move them around all willy-nilly. You can move them around as much as you want. You can have them be like this, or you can have them be like this, or you can have them be over here, or you can have them be like there. Pretty much you can move it around, make it as big as you want. Although I will say the closer in you go, the lower the resolution will get, because it all depends on like how you record. And not only on top of that, you can also add pictures, which you also can do here. But with these pictures, you basically just get, so on this beginning one, on this one with pictures, you get this, which, you know, is kind of similar, but we'll cover that in a minute. So on these pictures, if you were to put this here, you'll notice something. You'll notice that the picture here has the opacity, and the chroma key, but this doesn't. This has the ability to rotate, this doesn't. And on top of that, this one has the pan and zoom. The pan and zoom is kind of like a zoom in, like you can have it be like this, and then it ends up like this, and it looks all nice. See, it looks nice. And that's pretty much like, that's a pan and zoom that you cannot do with these. With these ones, you can't do that for some reason. I really hope that they do fix that, but that's probably my only issue with it realistically. So if we were to put a, if we were to just put a picture up, yeet, then what'll happen, what you can do, you can click on it, you can change the opacity, make it like barely noticeable or super noticeable, and on top of that, kind of like the effects, here's what you want to do. If you want to make a black and white face cam, you can click on color. So with color, you have a whole bunch of options. You can get more, and some of them are free, like retro, memory, and beauty, but the rest of them, you know, they're all, you know, they're all pricey. And then here, you can just pretty much change it to however you want. You can like come over here, you can click on one, and then you can go through the list and see. You can make it black and white like that. Or if you want to, you can also make it change color. Like you can change the brightness, you can change the contrast to make it different, or you can change your saturation, but if it's black and white, it doesn't make too big of a difference. And here is where it really happens. You can change your color. You can change the tint and the color temperature. Pretty much color temperature is pretty much what color you're using, and the tint is what kind of color are you putting on. Like you can make it like green, you can make it like blue, you can make it yellow, you can make it red, you can make it, if you have it in the middle, you can make it like still black and white, or you can have it like this to where it's like kind of purpley, kind of bluey, purpley right there. Pretty much you can just change it however you want. It all depends really on like what you want to do. And I didn't figure this out until recently when I started like trying to see what I can do. So realistically, if you were to experiment, you'd probably find something for you. And that's about it here. And now we're just going to go to the last thing that you would probably need to know is music. So you can have downloaded music. Pretty much music is like, your downloaded music isn't like stuff on Apple Music or whatever. It's just stuff that's downloaded directly into your phone for some reason. But it's not that big of a deal. There's all kinds of different folders depending on like what you have specifically. You can go into your Google Drive and change that, but I'm not going to click it. Or you can have music and sound clips, which are given to you for the most part free. Like there are some that are completely free, and there's some that aren't. Like all of this, for example. The ones that with locks obviously are not free. They cost money. But there's really not like there's quite a bit in the music facility place. So I do suggest that you check it out. Just see what you like. I don't really use most of these too much because there's only about 3 per album. So you know I don't really bother with it. But sound clips is where it gets interesting. So with sound clips, you have a bunch of sound clips of like different things. Like there's animals, there's instruments, there's your environment like fireworks or rain or birds or whatever. There's miscellaneous stuff like explosions and punches and stuff like that. Like I've used these a lot before. There's people like children crying or applause or whatever. Transportation like cars and trains, sports stuff that you would hear. Pretty much stuff that you would hear in any given situation, and they're more likely to have it, but like I said, most of them are locked, but there's enough where I've used many of these sound effects, and I've never had to use one that was locked, so I honestly think that you will be okay, but if you do want to get rid of the watermark, you're gonna have to pay anyways, So I feel like it is worth it to get all this extra stuff. It's just for me, just getting the extra stuff isn't worth it if I already have all of the stuff that's supposed to be there from the get-go. You know, so for me personally, it's not worth the investment. I might get it someday, but, you know, that's not necessarily true. And then the last bit is voiceover. Oh, here we go. Hold on. I have to put something in, and then I can voiceover. So pretty much this is voiceover. You can choose to put it on the first or second audio track. I'm going to put it on the first. And now it's recording my voice, and it probably isn't, but because when you're recording your voice, this thing right here is supposed to be going up. But since I'm already recording it with this recorder that I'm using, then you know, it makes sense. You can so from here you can either save it, discard it, replay it, or retake it. I'm gonna discard it, and that's honestly about it. Like, there's still more stuff that you would learn from any given just experiments, but you know, based on like what we've seen here, it's not that unreasonable to state that it's possible that you can do what you're doing and just get it done easily. And I know that there are probably some of you who are daunted by this task, but realistically, it's not super hard to do. And wait, for some reason it said that this isn't supported. I don't know why, but sometimes it happens. You're just gonna have to refresh it, and you know, that's about it for all you need to know. And honestly, I feel like it's not that hard to grip and understand. So finally, this is how you actually end it off your editing process after you've done all the stuff that you want. And you move it willy-nilly, and you save your project. Once it says save completed, then you know you're good. And then you click produce. You produce your video. You can either export it to the Cyberlink cloud. I don't suggest you do that. You can put it onto YouTube from the get-go, which also I don't suggest you do that. This, I'm not really sure what the more output options is. I've never used it, so honestly I would say don't mess with that. You go save to gallery or SD card. You click whatever you want. You can put it HD you can put it 4K, full HD, which is 1080p, HD, which is 720p, and SD, which is 480p. And you can save it to either the internal storage or to the Cyberlink cloud. But I send it to my internal storage, which is my gallery. You can either choose to have a better quality, a standard size, or a smaller size. I tend to have it on smaller size, but sometimes I go on to standard or even better. And also you can have it on 24 FPS, 30 FPS, or 60 FPS. I tend to have it on 30 because I record everything in 30 FPS. So it doesn't take that long, and once you click produce, then you let it do its thing. You let it go, and then once you do that, once it's all done, you click the OK, and then you're done. It's really it's more simpler than it seems, realistically. You know, it's not that daunting. But I hope you guys have learned something. I hope you guys learned something today from this episode. I really, I enjoyed, like, taking a look at it, to, like, really retrospective on, like, what I used to edit. I still use PowerDirector to edit to this day, and I will forever use it. Next episode, I'm not sure when it'll be, but I want to do more stuff like this, you know, more, like, teaching stuff, because I really do like teaching people, like, how to edit and stuff. The next one I'll be doing is HitFilm 4 Express, which is entirely free. Unlike PowerDirector, which was kind of free, you know, kind of free. But I hope you guys learned something today. If you did learn something, please tell me in the comments below what you did learn, or if you already use this, please tell me below what you used to edit or what you would want me to cover in the future. Anything that is either free or mostly free for the most part that I can learn and then teach you guys how to learn subsequently. Please give me any suggestions. I know that a lot of people like using KineMaster or Filmora Go. I might cover those in the future. I'm not entirely sure, but I hope I can see you guys in the next episode of this. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Stay schwinky. Bye-bye.